Hey, this is Pat-Riot. Nobody's in here, so I'm just gonna shout at the void. Y'all can watch later or maybe jump in and get started. I figured out this new thing today using Chat GPT to come up with like a choose your own adventure book. I did a lot of looking around and I couldn't find anything that I was looking for already written, and this just kind of does it for you. So I got a prompt in here. It says, write the first chapter of a suburban survival, choose your own adventure scenario with choices at the end of the chapter. Let there be a 60% chance that only one of the decisions ends in disaster. My character is a middle-aged man with a wife, two sons, and a daughter. We have considerable supplies in the basement. We are firearm owners with a bug-out location 50 miles from home with plans for 3 other families to meet at a bug-out location. And it also says list party members still alive at the beginning of the chapters. So I'm actually going to see, I was just playing with it and I put my names in here, so I'm going to redo that without my name in it so I don't accidentally read it out. Paste. Let me just remove my names. It'll make up names. That should be good. And enter. Chapter 1, the beginning of the end. It all started with a warning on the news, a power grid failure in a neighboring state, followed by reports of widespread civil unrest. You didn't think much of it at first, but within 48 hours everything fell apart. The power went out, cell towers stopped working, the city, just 20 miles away, descended into chaos. You could hear the sirens and gunfire in the distance, but out in the suburbs, things remained eerily quiet for now. You and your family gather around the kitchen table, weapons cleared and loaded. Cleaned and loaded, a lantern flickering in the dim room. Bug out location is ready, your wife says. If we leave now, we can make it before things get worse. Assuming the roads aren't blocked, your eldest son adds, glancing at the map spread out on the table, or crawling with desperate people. We could hold out here, your youngest son suggests. The house is stocked, and moving too soon could be a mistake. Daughter, looking out the window, speaks next. I saw people moving earlier, armed, checking houses. We don't know what we're up against yet. Everyone turns to you. It's time to decide. Hey, there are some people in here. Awesome. I guess I'll check the chat. I'll take your input, but ultimately it's going to be me who decides what we do. Option 1, bug out immediately. Load the vehicles, take what you can, and get to the bug out location before things get worse. 60% chance of disaster. You could run into roadblocks, ambushes, or mechanical failure. Option 2, stay put and fortify. The house is stocked and you're moving too soon could be a mistake. If hostiles overrun the area, you could get trapped. Option number 3, scout the area. Take one of your sons and quietly check out the neighborhood for supplies and threats before committing to a plan. Chance of disaster. If someone spots you, it could put your whole family at risk. What do you do? Option 1, option 2, or option 3. And you can actually choose one of the options but add things. I did that earlier because GPT sometimes doesn't remember what it said previously. If you choose to leave and you have a truck, sometimes it'll make you leave on foot. Like, to hell with that, I'm taking my truck. Oh, they're all 60% chance of disaster, Justin B. I wanted there to be some danger involved. I need to figure out how to make it so there's actually an end. Like if you make a really bad decision, I'd think, bum, 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 you died. Uh, well, you said scout and now it's haul ass. I'm guessing whole ass means haul ass. And sure, let's go with that. Bug out immediately. 1. Chapter 2, The Road to Uncertainty. All party members are alive. You decide to bug out immediately. The house is stocked, but it's only a matter of time before the neighborhood turns into a battleground. You gather your family and quickly begin loading supplies into the trucks: guns, ammunition, medical kits, food, water, everything you planned for. You strap down the last container as the distant sound of gunfire echoes from the city. Let's move, you say, slamming the tailgate shut. The convoy is ready. Your truck is in the lead, your wife driving the second vehicle with your daughter riding shotgun. The boys split between both. First 10 miles are quiet. Too quiet. The roads are mostly empty aside from a few abandoned cars. Then, just as you begin to relax, a problem presents itself. Up ahead, a makeshift barricade of abandoned vehicles blocks the road. It's too soon. Too soon for all this, but I guess. Smoke arises in the distant shadows. Move behind the wreckage. You're not alone. Your foot hovers over the brake pedal as your son grips his rifle beside you. Dad, this looks bad. Your wife's voice crackles over the radio. What's the call? You have seconds to decide. Option 1. Push through at full speed. Hope the vehicle can break through or that the roadblock is weak. 60% chance of disaster. The vehicles could get stuck or ambushed. Option 2. Turn around and find another route. Avoid the risk, but waste valuable time and fuel. 60% chance of disaster. You could run into an even worse situation. Option 3. Approach cautiously with weapons ready. Maybe there's a chance to negotiate or find another way through. Chance is disaster. If it's an ambush, you're walking right into it. What do you do? Just checking the chat. Oh, I've got 4 people now. This is exciting. 4 people and only 2 likes. What the hell? Yeah, that's exactly what I said, Justin B. Barricades this early. But the beginning of the story did kind of say that things have been going on for a while, but I guess we had our heads in the sand and we didn't know. I'm gonna, take a vacation. Bug out location, ready to go. As soon as stuff starts looking bad, I'm just taking a vacation. So what do we think? Push through, turn around, or approach? I'm going to take the cautious route. Option 2, we're going elsewhere. Don't want to risk my family or my vehicles just yet. Chapter 3, A Costly Detour. All party members are alive and accounted for. You take a deep breath and grab the radio. We're turning around. This doesn't feel right. Your wife responds immediately. Agreed. Let's not risk it. You reverse carefully, scanning the area as your convoy makes a controlled retreat. There's no movement from behind the barricade. Whoever set it up is either waiting or uninterested in the group. But avoiding one danger often means running into another. Oh, great. After a few miles, your convoy takes an alternate route, one that should bring you back on track towards your bug out location. The road is narrow, weaving through wooded back roads and past scattered farms. You feel a little more at ease, but this is better than the highway where the threats can come from all sides. Then the worst case scenario happens. Crap. The lead truck, your truck, sputters and jerks forward before coming to a dead stop. Damn it, you mutter, trying the ignition again. Nothing. Your son is in the passenger seat, grips his rifle. We just filled the tank. Your wife pulls up behind you. What's going on? You pop the hood and check. The engine is steaming, and a quick inspection confirms your fear. The radiator hose is cracked. You're not going anywhere until it's fixed. You have spare parts in the truck, but repairs will take time, and worse, you're stranded on an open road, a prime target for anyone who might get nearby. You need a plan. Options. I'm not going to read the disaster thing. It doesn't make any difference. Option 1, fix the truck as quickly as possible. You have a family set up in a perimeter while you're the one or one of your sons make the repairs. I was a mechanic for 15 years. It's going to be me. Leave the truck. Load as much as you can into the second vehicle and continue. It's a hard loss, but safety comes first. Option 3, send a scouting team ahead. 2 people go on foot to check if there's help or another vehicle nearby while the others hold position. Yep. Option 1, fix the truck as quickly as possible. It's only a hose. So we're going to go with 1. Oh, I lost 2 of my viewers. This must be boring. If this is boring, let me know and I'll just quit. Chapter 4, Under the Hood and Under Pressure. That's good. You decide to fix the truck as quickly as possible. You grab your toolkit and a spare radiator hose from the truck bed while issuing orders. I tell my sons to cover the road. I tell my daughter to keep watching the back. Your sons take positions along the tree line, rifles at ready. Your wife and daughter stand near the second truck, scanning the woods for movement. You pop the hood and get to work, hands moving but quickly but carefully. Minutes pass. Every sound in the distance, every rustling branch keeps you on edge. Your hands are slick with coolant as you tighten the last clamp. Almost done. Then, a single gunshot cracks through the silence. Your heart stops. Your youngest son yells, "Contact, 6 o'clock." From the tree line, figures emerge. 5, maybe 6 ragged clothed, makeshift weapons, desperate expressions. Desperate people are dangerous. They're not charging, not yet, but they're watching, measuring. One of them steps forward, a man with a sawed-off shotgun. "We don't want trouble," he calls out. "Just food. Leave some and we walk away." You glance at your supplies. You have enough to share, but giving in could make you a future target. Refusing could escalate things fast. Your truck is repaired, but now you have a standoff. Option 1, stand your ground, raise your weapons, and warn them to leave. You're not giving up supplies. Option 2, offer some food, give them a small portion of supplies in hopes that they'll take it and leave. 3, shoot first. Eliminate the threat before they make a move. How many people were there? 5, maybe 6. And there's 5 of me. Only 1 watching. That's alright. I'll talk to nobody. It doesn't matter. What do you think, Justin B? Are you still in here? Stand your ground, offer some food, or shoot first? I'm going to take the easy road. I'm going to offer them a little bit of food. Option 2. Chapter 5, Feeding the Wolves. You slowly lower your rifle just enough to show you're willing to talk. "All right," you call out. "We're not looking for trouble either, but we don't have much to spare." The leader of the group narrows his eyes. He's measuring you, decided whether he believes you or not. You grab a small bag from your supply stash, canned goods, protein bars, a couple bottles of water, just enough to make him think twice about pushing for more. You toss it onto the pavement between you. "Take it," you say, keeping your voice firm. "That's all you get." One of them, a weary, W-I-R-Y, wiry man, with sunken cheeks, moves forward quickly and grabs the bag. His fingers tremble as he clutches the food. The leader watches you for a long moments, then nods. "Fair trade," he mutters, "for now." "Don't come back." Without another word, the group backs off into the trees and they're gone. You exhale. The tension in the air lingers, but no one fires a shot. But the uneasy feeling doesn't go away. They'll be back, my wife says quietly. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but they know we have supplies. I took the names out of it, but it put the names back in. So I gotta be careful. When we make sure we're long gone, you reply, climbing into the truck. You turn the key, the engine roars to life, the convoy is rolling again. But as you drive, you can't shake the feeling that you just fed the wolves. Uh-oh, it says I've hit a limit. I did this too much already. You've hit a free plan limit for GPT-4. Responses will use another model until your limit resets after 6:01 p.m. Oops. Okay, options. Stick to the planned route. Head straight for the bug out location. It's risky staying predictable, but you need to meet up with the other families. Option 2, take a longer, more concealed route. Avoid trouble using back roads, even if it costs time. Option 3, find a temporary hiding spot. Lay low for a while, rest, and see if those people follow you before moving on. That's a tough one. Nice. 2 people again. What do you think? Justin B. Is that the wrong person? It's not Justin B. Just 10B. Get to the location. They're not going to follow. Well, from what I found from Chat GPT before, they don't like. It doesn't like leaving you alone. It's pretty intense the whole time. You never get a chance to breathe. What do we do? Stick to the planned route, take a longer, more concealed route, or find a temporary hiding spot? Yeah, Justin B is good. Team Quack Attack and Crash and Kev. What's up, brother? Twin Arrow Survival's in here. I got 3 now. That's awesome. I'm using Chat GPT to do a choose your own adventure story. I'm gonna take a longer, more concealed route. Let's take the conservative option. Oh, this goes much slower. That's okay, I can't read that fast. Chapter 6, The Long Way Around. You make the decision to avoid the main roads. Taking the back road seems like the safest bet, even though it will add more miles and fuel to the journey. The convoy shifts directions and you head for a less traveled highway, winding your way through small rural towns and thick wooded areas. The further you go, the more the tension begins to ease. No sign of the group you just dealt with for a while. You feel like you're in the clear. However, the detour comes with its own set of problems. The dirt road you're on is rough, filled with deep ruts and patches of thick mud. You slow down, trying to keep the trucks from getting stuck. The second vehicle lurches violently, throwing your wife off balance, and the truck stops abruptly. We're stuck. The rear wheels of the second vehicle are embedded in the mud, and no amount of revving seems to help. You've got to be kidding me, my son mutters, jumping out to inspect the situation. The tires are buried, too deep. We'll need a tow. Your convoy is now at a standstill. Great. The road doesn't have cell service, and there's no sign of other travelers. You're stranded. Well, I have 2 trucks. What the heck? Mama Bear here too. Awesome. There's not that many people. I'm not popular yet. Only 4 people watching right now. So with the Twin Arrows crew, that's 50%. All right, option 1, do we dig it out? Get the family to help using what tools you have to free the truck. Use the other truck to tow. Attach a rope and see if the first vehicle can pull the second one out. That seems like a no-brainer. Leave the second vehicle behind. Take the most important supplies from the second truck and head on foot towards the bug-out location. What? Why would I head out on foot? I have 2 trucks. This seems pretty obvious. Cool. It'd be nice if I could get some people in here. Tell me if this is boring. If not, if it's not boring, I'm just going to keep going. This one seems pretty obvious. We're going to use the truck to pull the other truck out. Chapter 7, the towing gamble. You decide to go for it. You tie a heavy-duty rope between the 2 trucks and begin to pull with the first vehicle. Your hands are tight on the wheel, your heart racing with every bump in the road. The second truck lurches forward slightly, but the wheels just don't have enough traction. This isn't going to work, my son mutters from the back seat. But you're already committed. You rev the engine harder, hoping for the best. The second vehicle starts to shift, but suddenly there's a loud snap. The rope is broken under the pressure, sending both trucks jerking in opposite directions. Damn it, curses my son. Your heart sinks as the other truck slides even deeper into the mud. Now it's even worse. The rear end is completely immobilized, and you can see the tires sinking more. You've made things worse. I call bullshit. I've pulled cars out before. Option 2. That was from before. Here's our options. Number 1, attempt to dig out the second truck. Use what tool you have to clear the mud and try again. Pull the vehicle free. 2, use the second truck for parts. Take what supplies you can from the second vehicle and abandon it for good. You will be able to move faster with fewer vehicles. Number 3, cut your losses and leave. Start walking towards the bug out location with the remaining supplies. The other families are counting on you. I don't know. Should we give up on the second truck? I need to come up with some kind of weird timer thing. Yeah. ChatGPT doesn't know. I have chains. I have chains and a tow strap. Like, those aren't going to break. But it thinks we're using rope. I'm going to leave the second truck. I'm going to go option 2. Take what supplies you can and abandon the second vehicle. I don't want to stay here all day. You know what? Let's go for it. Number 1, we're going to dig this truck out. We're getting out. No man left behind. Chapter 8, digging deep. You don't have a choice. You have to dig the second truck out. Grab the shovels and anything else we've got, you order. The family scrambles into action, digging furiously to loosen the mud that's trapped the tires. You work alongside them, sweat soaking your shirt. But the frustration mounts. The dirt is sticky and deep, and it seems like every time you clear some space, more mud fills the gaps. Time is not on your side. You don't know if you're making progress, but you can't give up now. Finally, after what feels like hours, you manage to clear enough space to get the tires unstuck. All right, my son says, wiping the sweat from his brow, let's try the tow again, but this time slow and steady. You take a deep breath, tie the rope once more, and crawl into the driver's seat of the first truck. Your hands shake as you engage the gear. With the second vehicle free of mud, you pull gently. For a few tense moments, nothing happens, but finally the truck starts to roll forward slowly, but it moves. You've done it. The second truck, battered but free, moves back onto solid ground. You can breathe a little easier now, but the relief is fleeting. You've wasted precious time, and you still don't know what lies ahead. As you check the trucks, you realize you've lost a fair amount of fuel in the process, and now you'll need to be more careful. Let's go, I say. We're running low on time. Use a chainsaw and wood to pack the mud. Yep. Option 1, stick to the backup route. It's a long way, but at least you're moving again. Option 2, head back onto the main road. You've lost time, but you'll save fuel and gain distance by sticking to a known path. Option 3, stay hidden for the night. Set up camp in the woods nearby to regain your strength, but it'll cost you more time. CNT Designs, how's it going? Sup, perps, he says. What do you think? Should we stay hidden for the night? Set up camp in the woods nearby? Use some Dakota fire pit? Stay hidden? Or just keep going? Everyone's probably exhausted. People see me from miles around if I'm driving at night. I'm going to say option 3. Let's stay here for the night. This could go bad. Chapter 9, A Night in the Woods. You make the decision to stay hidden for the night. We need to rest, you say, glancing at the fading daylight. It's not safe to keep moving like this. The family agrees, and you quickly set up a temporary camp near the edge of the woods, just outside of the road. The trucks are tucked behind a cluster of trees, hidden as best as you can. The fire pit is small, Dakota fire pit. You don't need light. The fire pit is small, and you don't light it for too long, only enough to warm some food. It's quiet, too quiet. I hate it when it says that. It means it's about to hit me with something. The only sound is the wind rustling the leaves and the occasional hoot of an owl. The anxiety in your chest won't go away, but you try to push it aside. Focusing on the moment, your family gathers around, eating what little you have left. What little I have left? That's bullshit. We have trucks full of supplies. My son keeps watch, his eyes scanning the shadows. My daughter keeps her rifle close. We can't stay here long, she says, her voice low. We should leave before sunrise. You nod, but you can't help but feel like staying the night is the right call. You need to rest to make it through tomorrow. But as the night deepens, something feels wrong. At first, it's a distant sound, the crack of a branch snapping underfoot. It's faint at first, then louder. Ethan, damn it, my son, who's closest to the perimeter of the camp, whispers, I think we're not alone. You hear your heart races, footsteps. They're getting closer, and you don't know who or what it is. You motion for everyone to stay quiet, the tension rising. The darkness seems to swallow the sound, but you can still hear something or someone moving towards you. My voice is soothing. I hate my voice. When I hear my voice, like on a live, not in my head, I hate the sound of my voice. All right, option 1, prepare for an ambush. Take cover and wait for whoever's approaching to reveal themselves. You'll have the advantage if they get close enough. Option 2, hide and hope they pass. Move quietly and quickly to conceal yourselves, hoping whoever's out there doesn't find your camp. Option 3, confront the stranger. Take a risky approach and walk towards the noise, gun in hand. Maybe you can talk your way through whatever this is. I'm the same. I hate the way I sound. Listen to my live chats. A soothing voice. Okay, I'll believe you. So what are we going to do? Prepare for an ambush, hide and hope they pass, or confront the stranger? No one likes the sound of their own voice. That's normal. Yeah. I sound like my dad, though. My mom told me I sound like exactly like my dad on the phone. So I guess when I'm listening to my own voice, I kind of sound like my dad. So that shouldn't be so bad. Anyone got an opinion? Prepare for an ambush, hide and hope they pass, or confront the stranger. Could just be an animal. We're out in the middle of the woods. That's not how ChatGPT does it. It likes to mess with you. Hell it. You assault your way out of the ambush. Option 3. Chapter 10, The Risky Approach. You decide to confront whatever or whoever is out there. It's risky, but you figure the only way to be sure is to face it head on. Stay here, you whisper to your family. I'll go check it out. With your firearm in hand, you move cautiously towards the sound of footsteps. Every crunch of the leaves beneath your boots seems loud enough to alert anyone nearby, but you keep your breathing steady, your body tense with every step. The noise gets louder the closer you get, and your heart pounds in your chest. Then you see them. 2 figures, both dressed in ragged clothes, standing there by a tree, just barely visible in the darkness. Their backs are turned to you. They're talking in low voices, unaware of your approach, as I'm a ninja like that. You stay low, moving silently until you're just a few feet away. Then you step into the clearing, your rifle raised. Stop right there, you shout, trying to sound as calm and authoritative as possible. The 2 figures freeze. One of them, a man, slowly turns around, his hands raised. He's older, but he looks like he's been through hell. The other is a woman, younger, her eyes wide with surprise, but also suspicion. We don't want trouble, the man says, his voice rough. We're just passing through. Please don't shoot. You keep your rifle aimed at them, but you're trying to make sense of the situation. They look worn and desperate, nothing like the raiders you faced before. We're not looking for trouble either, you respond cautiously, lowering your weapon slightly. What's your story? The man glances at the woman before answering. We've been traveling for days, got separated from our group. We're just trying to find somewhere safe. The woman nods in agreement, her eyes darting nervously. Please, we don't have much, just some food and water. We didn't mean to intrude. For a moment you're unsure, but their vulnerability seems genuine. They're just trying to survive, same as you. Yeah, Justin B., drink water. Mama Bear says, very true. Justin B., last person didn't want trouble either. I don't know. All right, what are our options? Option 1, let them join you. You decide to trust them and offer them a place in your group, hoping their knowledge or skills might be useful. No. Option 2, send them away, politely but firmly. Tell them to leave. You can't afford any more risk or strangers in your group. Option 3, take them as prisoners. You have to be cautious. Take them to the trucks and question them before making any decisions. Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm definitely not going to let them join me, not right away. You can't just trust people. Send them away. Nobody's getting any sleep with people around. I don't like take them as prisoners, but I do want to question them more. Twin Arrow says too, just send them away. Let's try it. Option 2, send them away. Chapter 11, a dangerous choice. Thanks. You decide to send them away. You can't afford to trust strangers in a world like this. Not yet, at least. I'm sorry, you say, your voice stern. You need to leave. We can't help you. The man's eyes harden for a moment. You think he might argue, but then he sighs and lowers his hands, nodding. The woman beside him doesn't say a word. They both seem deflated, but they turn and start walking away. Be careful out here, you call out, though you can barely bring yourself to care. The need for caution outweighs any empathy. You return to your camp, trying to shake off the feeling of unease. Daughter looks at you with a mix of concern and approval. Son stays quiet, but you can tell he's thinking it over, weighing the choice you made. As the night continues, you remain on high alert. No more footsteps, no sounds of movement, but there's a chill that sets in, a feeling of something hanging in the air. something ominous. Hours pass, and you find yourself staring into the darkness. You start to think that maybe you made the wrong call. Were they really a threat? Had you just sent away people that could have helped? Who could have helped, but it's too late to reconsider now. Justin B. Number one is sleeping. Much other way if they stay or sent away. Twin Arrows, I'm sorry. Danger is my middle name and Quack Attack. Ask them if they're from around here. Yep, probably should have done the interrogation. Maybe. The morning after. When the first light of dawn breaks through the trees, you gather your things, trying to shake off the doubt that's begun to creep in. Your family seems ready to move on, but you notice both sons giving each other wary glances. You sure about that decision? Son asked the other as you load the trucks. What if they come back with more people or worse? You don't have an answer. You finish packing up the camp and signal to your family to get in the trucks. The weight of the night's events feels heavy, but you can't let it slow you down. As you drive, you can't shake the feeling that the world's getting smaller. The more you cut ties with people, the more dangerous this seems to become. The road ahead is uncertain, but you push forward, hoping you haven't made a grave mistake. Yeah, that was an eventful day. Yeah, it really likes to get into it. It doesn't beat around the bush. First option, stick to the backup route. Despite the risk, you trust the alternate route will get you to the bug out location quicker and you can avoid any possible encounters. Number 2, go for the main road. The main road might be more direct and you'll save time. But there's a chance the raiders are there watching. Option 3, stop and assess the situation. You've been driving for a while. Take a moment to check the surroundings and decide if you've been being followed. Can't risk moving blindly anymore. I mean, we just started moving. Why would I stop? Let's stick with the backup route. Chapter 12, the backup route. You decide to take the backup route, reasoning that avoiding the main road will be the safest choice. The road is less traveled, and while it might take a bit longer, the risk encountering raiders is lower. You're sure about this? Son asks, glancing at you from the passenger seat. He seems a bit uncertain, but trusts you. You nod, though deep down you're not sure if you're making the right call. Backup route takes you through thick forests and winding hills, and while it feels safe in theory, the isolation makes you uneasy. The truck bumps along the rough terrain, the gravel crunching under the tires as you navigate the narrow, overgrown path. The scenery around you is beautiful and almost serene, but that serenity feels like a fragile illusion. You're on edge, constantly looking for signs of danger. I mean, you gotta be in, what does lawfully call it? Code butterscotch, in between yellow and red, in a situation like this. Several hours pass without incident, and just when you begin to relax, you spot something unusual in the distance. A plume of smoke rises in the air, faint but unmistakable. Daughter notices it too. That's not good, she says, her voice tense. You squint into the distance, trying to get a better look. It could be a campfire, or it could be a signal to someone's presence. Option 1, investigate the smoke. It could be another group of survivors or possibly a raider camp. You have a rifle and you're not alone. You can check it out cautiously. Option 2, keep moving. Ignore the smoke. You can't afford to take risks right now, especially when you're so close to the bug out location. Option 3, change course. Head in a completely different direction to avoid whatever that smoke represents. It's better to be safe than sorry, especially in unfamiliar territory. Use them as bait. The people from before. What do you think? Investigate the smoke, keep moving, or change course? Let's make this exciting. Why not? We're going to investigate. Chapter 13, The Smoke and the Ambush. Great. I just walked into an ambush. Against your better judgment, you decide to investigate the smoke. It could be a sign of survivors, or it could be something more dangerous. Either way, you need to know what you're dealing with. You slow down the truck, signaling to the others to follow your lead. The moment you leave the road, the terrain becomes even more difficult to navigate. But you push forward. The smoke grows thicker as you approach, and the sound of crackling fire fills the air. After a few minutes, you arrive at a clearing. A small campfire burns in the center, surrounded by tents and makeshift shelters. But what catches your eye isn't the camp itself, it's the people. There are 3 men sitting around the fire, armed with weapons. They look dirty, gaunt, and untrustworthy. But the real problem is the women tied to a tree next to them. She's bruised, her eyes wide with fear, and she's crying softly. Well, we can't let this stand. Stay back, you whisper to your family. Get the guns ready. You step forward cautiously, your rifle raised. The men notice you immediately, their hands hovering near their weapons. The tension is palpable. Who are you? One of them calls out, his voice rough and low. You don't belong here. How did we get spotted? Well, why would we just walk so close to them to get spotted? You don't belong here. You keep your rifle steady, trying to gauge the situation. We're just passing through and we saw the smoke. The man sneers. Well, you should have kept going. He gestures to the woman. You want her? She's a slave. You could take her if you've got the guts to do it. You hesitate, considering your options. You have your family to protect, but at the same time, you can't just walk away from someone who clearly needs help. Option number 1, rescue the woman. You make a quick decision to rescue the woman and fight the men off. You can't leave her behind. 2, negotiate for her freedom. Try and talk them into releasing her without violence. It's a long shot, but you might be able to avoid bloodshed. Number 3, retreat and avoid confrontation. You decide to back off, not risking the lives of your family over one person. You've got to focus on your bug out location. Ooh, that's a tough one. I really, really want to rescue the woman, but I also don't want to risk my family. The cool thing is I don't have to only pick 1, 2, or 3. I can tell it that I choose one, but I modify it slightly. What are we thinking? We'll just stick with the canned answers for now. Well, my wife's not gonna let me live it down if we leave another woman there to obviously be raped. So far, it doesn't kill off main characters, so let's go for it. We're gonna rescue the woman. Everyone's gone. I'm talking to myself. That's all right. Into the void. You guys can watch later. Chapter 14, The Fight for Survival. You can't let this go. The woman tied to the tree, her sobs filling the air. It's a person, and you can't just leave her behind. There's no telling what these men will do to her if you don't act. In an instant, you make your decision. Move, you hiss to your family. Get ready. You step forward, rifle raised, aiming carefully. The men are distracted by your sudden action, and it's enough of an advantage to give you the edge. The one closest to you reaches for his gun, but you're faster. The shot rings out, a sharp crack through the otherwise quiet forest. The man stumbles back, clutching his shoulder in pain. The others draw their weapons, but it's clear that they're not prepared for the speed of your attack. Stay down, you shout at your family. Son and daughter are the first to react, ducking behind trees for cover. The other son and my wife follow, readying for the weapons as the standoff escalates. You made a mistake, friend, the man who spoke earlier snarls. His eyes are wild with rage. You're going to regret this. You don't waste time on threats. With the woman still crying out for help, you know you need to act fast. You fire again, targeting the man closest to the woman. But he's quick, ducking behind cover. The firefight intensifies. Bullets ricochet off of the trees, the air growing thick with tension. The men are more disorganized than you expected, but they're still dangerous. One of them fires, but the bullet grazing your arm. It's a clean shot, but painful nonetheless. The chaos drags on, but after a few tense moments, you manage to gain the upper hand. The three men are either injured or retreating into the woods. One of them falls, his legs giving way as he scrambles to escape. You make your way to the woman, cutting her free with your knife. She stares at you with wide, fearful eyes. "Thank you," she whispers. "I thought I was going to die." Ooh, got another one back. It said 0 at one time. That's weird. Option number 1, stay in the camp and regroup. You've won the fight, but you need to ensure the woman is safe and get your bearings before moving on. The group could still be a threat. Number 2, leave immediately. You don't have time to waste. The risk of more enemies arriving is too high. You get in the trucks and head for the bug out location, taking the woman with you. Option 3, question the woman before leaving. You decide to interrogate her. You need to know who she is and whether she's a threat or if there's any more raiders nearby. Well, obviously, we're going to question. That's an easy one. I'm not just going to take her along just because she got captured. And I need to know how many more people there could be. Chapter 15, The Unexpected Truth. Yeah, cool. It says I only have one person watching. Yeah, that thing isn't working. Alright, cool. The Unexpected Truth. This sounds interesting. You decide to question the woman before making any more moves. As you cut her free from the ropes, you give her a stern yet compassionate look. You need to know who she is, why she was with those men, and whether or not she's going to be a danger to your family. "Who are you?" you ask, trying to sound calm and in control. "What were they doing to you?" Obvious. She hesitates for a moment, her eyes darting nervously between you and the others. The fear in her gaze is clear. "I'm just a survivor," she says quietly, her voice trembling. "I didn't choose to be with them. They took me. I was just trying to survive when they found me." You give her a moment to collect herself, noticing the bruises on her arms and the rawness of her voice. She's been through something terrible. "My name is Charlie," she continues. "I was part of her group, but we were ambushed. I got separated. They were going to sell me. I don't know who they worked for, but they were taking people. I overheard them talking about it. They said they were scouting the area for a bigger group. They said they'd sell us to whoever was in charge." You exchange a glance with the wife, concern growing in your chest. This isn't a random attack. These men were part of something much larger. "Are there more of them?" my son asked, voice steady. "Is there a camp nearby?" Claire, is that her name, Claire? Yeah, it is. Claire nods slowly. "Yes, we have a camp. Yes, they have a camp. I don't know exactly where, but it's not far from here. They were talking about it." This is more complicated than you thought. Not only do you have to worry about the immediate threat, but now you know there's a larger group of raiders out there, possibly waiting for a chance to attack. YouTube is a liar. Yeah. Okay, option number 1, prepare to leave immediately. You don't have time to waste. The raiders are part of something bigger, and staying here could make you a target. Head to the bug out location as quickly as possible. Number 2, scout out the raider camp. You decide to take the risk and scout the area where Claire says the raiders are. You need to know more about the threat before making a decision. Option 3, take Claire with you and move on. You agree to take Claire with you, but your primary focus is now the safety of your group. You'll leave the camp and head to the bug out location immediately. Option 1 and option 3 sound like the same. I don't think I'm going to leave the woman I just rescued behind. So let's option 3. I forgot to ask, how's the audio? Does it sound good? We're in my normal headset, and I'm not driving a truck, so hopefully the audio is pretty good. $50 minutes. I'll go a couple couple more chapters, get this thing to about an hour. I don't know how long it'll actually let me live stream since I'm a YouTuber. Chapter 16, moving forward, but with caution. You've made your decision. Claire's story has given you more than enough reason to keep moving. The risk of the raiders catching up to you is real, but you're not going to take any chances. The sooner you get to your bug out location, the safer you'll be. All right, we move out. You order, your voice firm and commanding. Stay close, everyone. Claire, you're with us now. We don't know who's out there, so we stay sharp. She's probably a plant. This might be a bad idea. Just like in what's that movie? One of the new Mad Max ones, where it's the meme. He goes, "That's bait." I might have just took the bait. We'll see. All right, we move out. You order. Voice. Claire nods, visibly relieved to be in your company. Her eyes dart nervously as she looks around, clearly still on edge. The experience with the raiders has taken its toll. Thank you, she whispers. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't showed up. You nod, keeping your focus on the road ahead. Just keep your head down. We'll get you to safety. The journey continues as you head towards the bug out location, trying to keep the pace steady without rushing too much. Claire's presence doesn't slow you down, but it's a reminder of the danger you're still facing. If those raiders were hunting her, they could be looking for others. The trucks roll through the dense forest roads and the sound of engines humming in unison with the surrounding quiet. There's an unsettling stillness in the air, one that feels unnatural. No birds, no animals, only the soft rustle of wind through the trees. You pass through a few old dirt roads, but nothing seems out of the ordinary. However, as you approach a narrow bridge that leads out of the forest and closer to your bug-out location, you hear something that makes your blood run cold. A distant rumbling sound. It's the unmistakable noise of engines, several of them, and they're coming fast. Stay down, all of you, you order, glancing over at your family. You know what's coming, Claire's eyes widen. It's them, isn't it? You nod grimly, pulling off the road into a small, overgrown patch of woods. The trees and brush provide some cover, but not much. You hope it's enough. The sound of engines grows louder, and you realize you've only got moments to prepare. Wait a minute, were we about to cross a bridge? As you approach a narrow bridge. So what side of the bridge are the noises on? Because I'm going to put them in a funnel across that bridge one way or the other. Alright, let's see what options it gives me. Option 1, take up defensive positions and prepare for the fight. The raiders are close and there's nowhere to run. You'll have to fight your way through, hoping that you have enough ammunition and strategy to survive the oncoming attack. Option 2, try to avoid them by hiding and waiting. You decide for the safest option would be to wait them out, stay out of sight, and hope they don't find you. If you can keep quiet long enough, they might pass by. Option 3, divert their attention by setting a trap. You could quickly decide to set up a diversion, a fake trick, some noise, maybe even a decoy. Anything to lead the raiders away from your group. I don't know. I'm gonna use my my DM chops here, and I'm gonna help it out a little bit. I'm choosing option 1. I type very slowly, I'm sorry. Choose option 1. However, we are using narrow bridge for an ambush. Let's see what it says. And I spelled bridge wrong because I'm a retard. Krista Moore. Yeah, that's a name that I don't recognize. Are you from Twin? Oh, I got 5 people. Wow. All right. Chapter 17, Ambush at the Bridge. You quickly make a decision. You're not going to run, you're not going to hide. Instead, you'll turn the tables. The narrow bridge is the perfect spot for an ambush. It's a choke point. If you can control the bridge, you'll have the advantage. You can't let the raiders get past. They're too dangerous. And your group doesn't have the luxury of another encounter. Everyone listen up, you say in a low, urgent voice. We're using the bridge. It's our best chance. We set up on either side, and when they come through, we hit them hard. You quickly move to the front. Move to the front of the truck, your mind racing as you set the plan into motion. Both sons and daughter know exactly what to do. They take up positions on the high ground on either side of the bridge, hidden in the trees and brush. Wife stays by the truck, ready to assist, while you and Claire move into position. I am not giving her a gun yet. Okay, whatever. You and Claire move into position. I think we leave Claire at the truck and myself and my wife. Okay, it's Chat GPT. We'll just go with it. You and Claire move into position at the far end of the bridge, prepared to launch the ambush when the raiders approach. You've barely finished setting up when you hear the sound of their engines. Closer now, coming around the bend. Your heart pounds in your chest, the adrenaline coursing through your veins. The sound grows louder. They're almost here. You take a deep breath and motion your family to stay still, keeping your rifle aimed and steady. Then you wait. The raiders are now on the bridge, their vehicles creeping forward, unaware of the trap awaiting them. It's a small convoy, 3 vehicles with about 5 men total. They're spread out, and it's clear that they're not expecting resistance. You wait until the last possible moment, then you signal. Gunfire erupts from both sides of the bridge, catching the raiders completely off guard. The first man in the lead truck goes down immediately, shot hitting him square in the chest. The second man dives for cover, but it's too late. The 2 sons, well-placed shots take him out before he can make it to safety. The third raider in the truck panics and tries to flee, but the wife opens fire, taking him down in a blur of motion. The last 2 men, realizing they're outnumbered and outgunned, attempt to make a run for it. But Claire, still shaken but now emboldened by the action, fires on one of them, hitting him in the leg. He stumbles but manages to get up and try and flee into the woods. That's when the real trouble begins. From the woods you hear the unmistakable sound of more engines. You weren't able to take out all of them. A backup group is rushing in, and they're coming from both sides of the bridge. How are they doing that? They're faster and better prepared than you anticipated. It's a trap within a trap. Crap. How are they coming from both sides of the bridge? Fuckers. This is what ChatGPT does. I went through a story previous to this, and it's up. And sometimes the logic isn't there. Okay. Option number 1, hold your prepare for a larger fight. You've got them cornered now, and you're down. You'll keep fighting using the bridge as your final line of defense. Option 2, retreat and try and move quickly through the woods. The bridge is no longer defensible, and you can't afford the risk of a larger confrontation. Fall back into the woods and attempt to outmaneuver them. Option 3, use Claire as bait. To distract the raiders while the rest of you escape. You'll use Claire's presence to lure the backup group into false sense of security, giving your family time to escape. What do you do? Quack attack. Yes, that's what I said. Chat, Justin B. Chat don't let you win. Bye, Claire. I'm not retreating. I'm not leaving all my stuff. Fuck it. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I'm going with option 1. We're going to stand the ground on the bridge. Maybe the second group will fall for it the way the first one did. So option number 1. Hey-yo! I wonder. Just made Lawfully Armed a moderator. You're my first. I don't have any. You're my first moderator. And I feel. No, that's not it. I wonder if I can invite Lawfully Armed. Oh, awesome. Okay, option 1. The final stand at the bridge. That doesn't sound good. You tighten your grip on your rifle. It likes to say that a lot. The last story I was reading, like every time you made a decision, you tighten your grip on your rifle. Your eyes scanning the chaos unfolding before you. The Raiders' backup is almost on top of you, and the fight isn't over yet. You can't afford to let them push through. The bridge is your last stand. Stay close. Hold your fire until they get closer, you shout to your family, your voice steady, despite the rising tension. We're not backing down. Your group forms a tight defensive line, weapons aimed at the oncoming Raiders. It's a gamble. You don't have the advantage of surprise anymore, but you stand firm. If you control the flow of the fight, you might make it through. The lead truck crests the hill, its engine roaring louder as it charges towards the bridge. You count the vehicles quickly. 2 trucks, both packed with armed raiders. The first truck's driver slams on the brakes as gunfire erupts. But it's too late. My son's shots take out 2 of the raiders in the front seats, and the truck swerves out of control, crashing into the side of the bridge. Uh-oh. The second truck isn't far behind, but before it can reach the bridge, the wife fires a well-placed shot, puncturing the vehicle's tires. It screeches to a halt just a few yards from your position, the sound of the metal on pavement filling the air. The remaining raiders scramble for cover, trying to duck behind the trucks and any available debris. Your heart races as you scan the area, looking for any gaps in the defense. You know they're coming for you, but you can't let up. Claire, still shaky but determined, fires at a raider who's trying to flank your position. The shot lands and he collapses in the dirt. Good shot, you shout, nodding in approval. But just as you think you've gained the upper hand, you hear a roar of engines, more raiders emerging from the woods behind you. They've circled around and now they're charging towards the bridge from both sides. There's no way to hold them off indefinitely. Fall back, you yell. To the trees, now. In a desperate move, your group doesn't hesitate. The bridge is no longer defensible and you need to get out of here while you still have a chance. You sprint into the woods, the sound of gunfire echoing behind you. The raiders are on your trail, but you know the terrain well. You've been through these woods before, and you can use that knowledge to your advantage. You hear the crackle of branches underfoot, the sound of footsteps chasing after you, but then a sudden roar, a second wave of raiders emerging from the brush. They've anticipated your move and are now caught between 2 groups. Uh-oh. I think I might have fucked up. Justin B, now it's going to say you're out of ammo. No, unfortunately, it hasn't done that to me yet. And Crash says AI wants all the biological going, especially 2-legged ones. Remains to be seen. Okay, option number 1, fight your way through the second wave, aiming for the Raiders' leader. You decide to take the fight directly to the heart of their group, targeting the Raiders' leader in an attempt to break their morale and disrupt their tactics. You know, this has only been a few days since this all went down. How is there, like, groups of 40 Raiders together already? Like, come on. Unless I'm near a major city where these are actual gangs that have already been together. But where's all these ginormous parties of raiders coming from? Option 2, create a diversion and split the groups and give your family a chance to escape. You'll use what's left of your ammunition and environment to confuse and split the raiders, creating a chance for you and your family to slip away. Option 3, take cover and regroup, waiting for the right moment to strike. You decide to hold your position, waiting for the raiders to make a move. You'll need to outsmart them, giving your family the time to escape while you stay behind. Option 1, shoot the leader. The final showdown. So far, I've only been winged. Nobody's been shot yet. Your mind is made up. You know what needs to be done. If you take out their leader, the rest of the raiders will lose the will to fight. You've seen it before, and you've used this tactic in the past. Decapitate the head, and the body will fall. With a sharp, commanding motion, you wave your family back. Stay low. Cover your angles. I'm going after the leader. The two sons of my daughter look at you with a mix of concern and determination. They trust you. Trust you enough to take this risk. You catch your wife's eyes for a brief moment. She nods, a silent promise that she'll hold the line as best she can. You move quietly through the dense trees, your heart racing, your senses on high alert. You know the leaders will be surrounded by guards, but if you time this right, you can take them out before they even realize what's happening. The air feels thick with tension. You approach the edge of a small clearing where you spot the leader. He's standing tall, barking orders to his men. He's wearing a leather vest, his face scarred, hardened from years of combat. But there's something in his eyes, a sense of arrogance, as though he believes he's invincible. That's your opening. Silently take position behind a tree, steadying your rifle on your hands. You line up the shot, watching as the leader paces his back to you. Your finger tightens on the trigger. Just as you're about to pull the shot, the twig snaps under your boot. The leader swirls around, his eyes flashing with fury. Ambush, he yells, his voice cutting through the stillness. The guards immediately shift positions, their rifles raised in your direction. It's too late to back down now. You fire. The sound of the shot echoing through the trees. It's a perfect hit. The leader drops to the ground with a gurgling gasp. His men, too shocked to react at first, but then chaos breaks out. The raiders open fire, their shots whipping through the air, and you dive for cover behind a boulder that just as a bullet grazes your arm. You're pinned down and there's no way to move, but you've done what you needed to. The leader is dead, and his men are in disarray. Fall back, you shout to your family. We've got a chance. You hear the rapid movements of your children as they retreat, covering you while you crawl to safety. But then, just as you think you've won, disaster strikes. Oh, imagine that. A second group of raiders, unseen before, emerges from the trees on the opposite side. They'd been lying in wait, and now they're closing in fast. You and your family are caught in a pincer. The sound of gunfire becomes deafening. You hear skips. Your heart skips a beat as you realize the danger you're in. There's always more. These armies, me and my 5 and now 6 group members facing armies, all within days of the world falling apart. Option 1, fight your way through, targeting the second group with everything you have left. You're in the thick of it now, and there's no turning back. You'll stand and fight, using your resources to break through and escape. Option 2, take cover and attempt to use the environment to set traps. You know the land better than anyone here. You'll use your knowledge to set up defensive positions, rigging the trees and the terrain to your advantage. Option 3, retreat and try to outflank the second group. If you can make it back to the trees, you can regroup and try and sneak around the second group, creating an escape route for you and your family. So bullshit. It's like you're trying to pass a well-established armed neighborhood. Yeah. Yeah, they always know where you are, and it's like they have GPS. Maybe they have GPS. Maybe that woman that I just picked up is telling them everything I'm doing. But she shot people. But only in the legs. Or did she actually kill someone? I don't remember. Just like, assault through the ambush. It's different every time. Even if you use the same prompt, it all starts out differently, so it's pretty cool. Chapter 20, The Last Stand. They keep saying last a lot. The moment you hear the second group closing in, you know there's no time to hesitate. It's do or die. Stay close, you yell at your family, adrenaline surging through your veins. We fight. You reload quickly, your heart racing as the first few shots ring out from the second wave of raiders. You have to move fast and hit hard. If you wait, they'll have the... You charge forward, breaking from cover and running towards the edge of the clearing. The raiders are scattered across the trees, scrambling to get a clear shot, but they're disorganized, not expecting you to attack. You seize the moment, firing a quick series of shots, downing 2 raiders who hadn't noticed your approach. Keep moving, you shout to your family, rallying them as they fall in behind you. You fight your way forward, taking cover behind fallen log and shooting the raiders who attempt to return fire. Your eyes locked with your son's for a split second. He's right behind you, steady and focused. It's working, for now. The other son takes position to your right, adding fire to the chaos, while the daughter moves in from the left, forcing the raiders into a crossfire. The plan is simple. Trap them between your fire and make them panic. The second wave is relentless, but you've caught them off guard. Your family fights with precision and unity, and slowly but surely, the raiders begin to break. The noise is deafening, shouts, shots, and explosions as one of the raiders' truck goes up in flames from a well-aimed shot, but then disaster strikes. A raider hidden in the trees fires a single shot at Claire, hitting her in the shoulder. She stumbles back, a cry of pain tearing from her lips. Claire, the wife screams, running to her side. You're momentarily distracted. Your focus split between the fight and your fallen comrade. But as you try to move her, you hear the unmistakable sound of more raiders rushing from behind. You've done everything you can, but there's too many of them. They've begun to encircle your group. Option 1, push forward and try and break out of this encirclement. You'll make one last push, using everything you've got to break through to escape the trap. Option 2, cover the retreat. Cover your retreat. Get Claire and the rest of your group out of the firefight. You'll cover their escape, even if it means staying behind. You know that others can make it if given enough time. Option 3, set up a final stand. Hunker down, make them come to you. You'll fortify your position, making sure that no one leaves the area without a fight. No one leaves the area alive without a fight. You can't escape anymore, so this will be your last defense. What are we thinking? Push forward, retreat, and stay behind? Or final stand? This is getting pretty long. Let's see what happens if we make a final stand. Normally I would say push forward. But let's see what happens if we hunker down. Yeah, there we go. Quack attack. The last defense. You tighten your grip on your rifle. See, told you. And you make the call. No running, you say firmly. We dig in and make this our battleground. Your family nods in grim determination. There's no turning back now. You scan the terrain quickly. You're in a decent defensive position near the bridge. The raiders have numbers, but if they want you, they'll have to fight for every inch of ground. My sons flank left and cover our weak spots. Yeah, I tell my sons to flank and cover our weak spots. You order. Okay, that's weird. The daughter, find a high point and keep an eye on movement. Wife, stay with Claire. Keep her stable and stay out of the direct fight. Everyone, no, fuck that. Everyone, if the wife needs to be in the fight. Everyone that can hold a gun needs to be in the fight. If anyone's heard of the March algorithm for stopping bleeding control, it's like massive bleeding, airway, respiration, something and hypothermia. I can't remember. But there's also the SMARCH algorithm. You have to have security, then massive bleeding, then airway. So you can't stop fighting because someone's injured. You have to take care of the injured after the fight. But okay, let's see what ChatGPT says. The raiders charge forward, their war cries piercing through the night. Muzzle flashes light up the darkness as they fire blindly in your direction. You duck behind cover and return fire, your shots precise and deliberate. My two sons hold their position on the left, picking off targets as they try and flank. A daughter, from her elevated position, takes down 3 raiders in quick succession. Each kill sends their ranks into further disarray. But then the tide shifts. A group of raiders lobs a homemade explosive towards your cover. Boom! The ground shakes. The dirt and smoke fill in the air. You're thrown backwards, ears ringing. You blink away the haze just in time to see the enemy advancing through the smoke. They're coming fast. Too fast. The turning point. You scramble to your feet and fire wildly, forcing them to slow down. The two sons fight fiercely, but they're getting overwhelmed. Gabby, God damn it. My daughter is down to her last magazine. You hear the wife yell from behind. Claire is slipping in and out of consciousness. If this fight drags on much longer, she won't make it. The enemy keeps pushing, and you know the next few moments will determine everything. You have to act now. Options. Fight to the death. There's no retreat. No surrender. You and your family will fight until the last bullet and the last breath. Number 2, use the last of your explosives. Ooh, where did I get explosives? To cause a rock slide and seal the bridge. I'll trap the raiders on the other side, but you'll have to find another escape route afterwards. Number 3, attempt to intimidate the raiders into retreating. If you can convince them that taking you down isn't worth the cost, they might withdraw. Explosives. What do you think? Yeah. Still got 4 people. 9 likes. Hell yeah. This is my first real live, by the way. Team Quack Attack, yes. Is that yes for explosives? I'm going to take that as a yes for explosives. 2. Where did I get explosives? How does ChatGPT know about the exploding gnomes full of Tannerite? Chapter 22, Bridge Collapses. See, it's not very spatially aware because we're in the woods. We're nowhere near the bridge anymore. Oh well. That's cool. Get charges ready, you shout over the gunfire. 2 sons immediately understand. They rush towards the explosive you had taken from the raiders earlier. Oh, I guess it explains it. Securing them along the bridge supports. It's risky, but if it works, you can seal the raiders on the other side and give yourself a chance to escape. Daughter provides covering fire, picking off raiders who try to advance. Jeannie is... Damn it. Wife is crouched beside Claire, trying to keep her from slipping away. Almost there, the son yells. He and the other son secure the last charge. More gunfire erupts as the raiders realize what you're doing. A few of them break into a dead sprint towards the bridge, hoping to stop you. Blow it now, you order. Son doesn't hesitate. He presses the detonator. Boom. The explosion is deafening. The bridge shudders violently, cracks spreading through the stone and the steel. Within seconds, the entire structure begins to collapse, taking several of the charging raiders with it. The ones who survive are left stranded on the far side, screaming in frustration as the dust settles. You did it. The bridge is gone and the enemy is cut off. The aftermath. Your family is exhausted, but you don't have time to rest. The explosion bought you time, but you're still deep in enemy territory. Claire is in bad shape. If you don't get proper medical help too soon, she won't last much longer. You need a plan. That's a nice cliffhanger to end on. My wife will be home soon, and I'm going to make her dinner. So, I'm going to sign off for now. And my phone's about to die. It just popped up and said it's 10%. Thanks for showing up, everybody. Team Quack Attack, Justin B, Crash and Kev, Lawfully, if you're still there. Twin Arrows and Mama Bear, if you didn't hop off. Whoever's left. Thanks, guys. I don't know how to end it, actually. What happens if I push this?